We have a new 3D gen by Apple. Cinema4D now supports 3D AI, and Nvidia releases a new AI animation tool, and much more in this week's 3D AI news episode with Stefan.
And the first news is that Apple actually announces their 3D AI generator. To be more specific, this is 3DGS, which is Gaussian Splatting. And they basically released this paper and it looks very promising, and they're comparing themselves with Trellis. Trellis is a frontier model from Microsoft, but here they compare themselves with the first Trellis model, not the second. However, and also we don't know yet if they do have some specific conversion to real mesh and stuff. I believe they might be using something like Trellis. From the first glance, it looks very promising. So like the accuracy is quite good. You can see, you can compare some examples like with Trellis, like more details, but this is still splats. I would really want to see how good it looks when converted to real geometry. Here's another example. So we can see like it works better with the lighting, obviously, and shape is better. It is always good that big players stepping into the game, which means we'll soon have better models. Let's keep eyeing it. Super excited.
Alright, first off we have Mesh to Motion, and this is pretty cool because we just discovered it and it seems to be in their alpha version right now, but it's a pretty cool tool because it actually also focuses on AI rigging. And this is especially interesting because it's also able to rig then as well quadrupeds, as you can see with this fox over here, but there are even more examples. When we go to its websites, you will see it's able to rig human and animal rigs basically with this approach, and you can even export then animations that you create with it. You will also see it here basically that you can then rig and animate it, and the best thing, it's all locally then as well with this tool, and you can then run it on your own PC, which is of course amazing. And you will see for example here by an example by Scott Petrovich, where you will see then a good example of a spider, for example, jumping and being animated, which is of course amazing also for animating 3D AR models.
And next we do have a huge drop from Tripo, and this time this is really worthy. I would say it's even a breakthrough. They released Smart Mesh and so-called Tripo P1 model, which basically creates low poly mesh right away from image, and it does it almost instantly. So take a look on this. We add an image, we choose the poly count, we press generate image, and it is created in a matter of seconds. So depending on your internet connection, before I actually ended talking, we already have a mesh. And it's low poly, it's really, really good. Look at this example. We do have nice eyes, even like sort of like imitation of a real eyeball. And look at the mesh, the quality is significantly improved. I also can say that the HD mesh, which is 3.1 version, is also improved, and I would say like I'm really impressed where Tripo is right now. And it is of course added to top 3D AI, and you can check it by yourself. Right now it is basically sharing first place with Hunyu on 3.1, but in my humble opinion Tripo 3.1 is actually better right now. This is absolutely free tool where you can take a look, where you can blind test some tools, choose the winner, and learn which model performs better against another. There's plenty of tests and stuff to explore. So I actually created a complete video showing my workflow using Tripo, and this is amazing. For me, this is one of the biggest updates in this year so far.
Next up, we have a Heighten 3D Maker Studio feature kind of now, and I will exactly show you how you can access it and how to use it, because it's kind of an in-house build. Edit your meshes that you don't have to export it anymore into Blender, for example, and can edit then your 3D AI model directly on the platform. To do that, you simply need to log in to Heighten 3D, then go to the home page, and once you're here you can then go to history to access your previously generated 3D models. And once you are here you can then scroll down and then choose the model that you choose, one of the models that you generated before, for example this one here. Then I can click on it, and you will then find actually in the model preview section here a mode called edit, and we can simply click on it, and you will also see that it's new, so we can click on it. And once we are then here you will see you have a new interface, and you can, for example, then enable the sculpt mode and also paint mode to paint over your texture or to sculpt additional details. So you can click, for example, on enable here, and you might find it here familiar. It's saying here elastic wrap, which is basically the brush that you can also use in Blender, but it's of course handy to do that as well now basically in Heighten 3D. So when I go in here, we can then make live adjustments. Of course here just very rough, but I think you get the idea kind of how, which is of course very handy in case you would like to send it directly to 3D printing. So you can, for example, then here decimate your model, but also measure it as well as repair your model, which is of course also great in case your mesh has some holes and so on. So really useful and definitely something to check out.
Next, unexpectedly, or maybe someone was actually expecting that, Maxon, which is Cinema4D, announces collaboration with Tencent Cloud. So basically I hear that already a lot. Everyone started working with Tencent because they're developing one of the best 3D AI. They're developing one of the best set of AI tools. Here you will be able to show this footage from here. So what they say is that you'll be able to create 3D and it will be editable. Well, that's not a big news, maybe big news for Cinema4D. And I can tell you exactly what to expect. You can expect same APIs that are available in Hunyuan 3D Studio. And by the way, on global version, 3D Studio is available for everyone right now and it still gives you 23 credits per day. Definitely try to use it. So talking about APIs available, this is mainly generating base 3D model with Hunyuan 3.1, splitting into components, retopology, probably the only AI UV wrapping, and texturing. For me, texturing in Tripo is still better right now, but retopology quality, I would say Hunyuan is the best, and I think majority of you also think that, and according to the arena, Polygen 1.5 from Hunyuan Studio is actually top 1.
Next up, we have news by Cascadeur, and this is also amazing because we can now use Cascadeur to generate unlimited AI generations inside Cascadeur. So I think this is really amazing and a big step because, as you can see, there's no limit for in-betweening and so on anymore, and we can use that because it's now 100% local, and you will save heavily on like that you don't need to use any credits or something because you run it on your own PC. Definitely something to check out. Cascadeur is really amazing that was developed, and it's really a game changer for AI animation, so definitely something to check out. We will also link you here a direct link down below to its website where you could also then try it for free to check out the tool yourself.
Another exciting paper is SK Adapter, which is skeleton-based structural control for native 3D generation. And this is really cool. It means that we are not just inputting image and trying to build up a mesh on top of the image, but we're trying to understand what is actually expected. So in this example, we input a skeleton and it sort of guides. It's not a different 3D AI, it's like a level, it's like an adapter, like an additional layer that helps to guide 3D AI and build better structural shapes. This is actually an amazing news, to be honest. Like, the more control we do have, the better. And for 3D, for years, it was built around images. Right now, look, you upload the skeleton and it builds 3D model on top of that. Very, very exciting.
What was also released just a few days ago is SegV Gen, and this is really amazing because it's also open source. As you can see, it's a MIT license, and what this tool is doing basically is that we now have local 3D part segmentation, which is of course amazing. You might remember my previous video where I showed you in Comfy how to split your models with the help of an image, but now you can directly separate your 3D model, which is of course amazing because we finally have that locally. And I will also make a video soon about it, how you can use it in Comfy basically. In case you are interested in it, would like to see it, please let us know down below as always in the comments. And you will see then that it's also giving us here color codes, and you will basically see here that it's able to split your models accordingly, and that we then have a more accurate presentation of and then come over the weakness that we have mostly combined meshes at the moment.
Lastly, we do have another player working on their 3D AI, which is Alpha 3D. So what do we know about them? They recently released a huge update, the model called Alpha 4, and they claimed and they say they do have their own data set which supposed to give very accurate results. You can test it by yourself, and of course by the time you're watching this videos, it already should be on top 3D AI and you'll be able to test it there. Overall, my opinion, I like it, but it's definitely not an outstanding quality. It's just a good generator and really not expensive one. And of course I tried to generate Mr. Mac. He is my benchmark. So some stuff are impressive, the way it actually separates some objects and stuff, but the overall quality of details is questionable. Like in this case, it generated its sort of low poly look. Well, it's actually not low poly, it's like 500K. So good job, but need to do it better.
And then last but not least, we have Komodo by Nvidia. And this is also a new AI tool released, which allows basically to generate human motions in 3D. And you will see here that, you know, they also show some examples. So we have here, for example, then the character moving in 3D space, basically based on text motions, but also on motion capture datasets. So I think this is really interesting that Nvidia is also stepping into this game when it comes to yeah, kind of AI motion capturing or AI animation. So definitely worth also to check out. As you can see, they also released here the model weights and so on, which is of course great. And you will see over here that we also then have interactive motion offering in their own demo tool that they released. And we can as well then use this one to retarget motions to other robots, as you can see here. And you will also see it that you can use it, that they also developed this tool called Proto Motions here, which is then especially focused on simulations and so on. So definitely also an interesting thing to check out. We will as always link everything down below. So yeah, we really hope, as always, that you have enjoyed this week's news episode. Please let us know down below what you think of the latest news, and if you have heard of some of them already. As always, make sure to subscribe to our channels in case you have liked this, in case you would like to see more, and actually see you on the next one.